Hi drummers, welcome to the first in a series of drum interviews that I'm going to be carrying out on the Dunx Drum School channel. Today I'd like to introduce you to one of my biggest mentors in drumming. I've known him for, how long have I known him for?
Too long to remember.
Quite a long time. This is Will Gates, or as he likes to be called, Willy G Phunk.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, basically he's been a huge inspiration to my playing. A lot of chops that he's going to be playing in our little drum jam later. You might see me stealing them at some point. So yeah, basically he's been a big influence to me. So first question, can you tell us how you came to be a drummer?
I always it's just something I always wanted to do when I was a kid. I just remember when I was quite young, just thinking, what if I never got the chance to sit on a kit, and it just looked like so much fun.
Yeah.
But I used to take a lot of things up and kind of give them up pretty quickly, so I didn't think my parents would ever let me take up the drums because it's such a big thing.
Did you do any other instruments before?
Yeah, I played the clarinet for a few years and sacked that off.
Yeah.
But no, still, they did get me a drum kit, and it was within a few weeks I knew it's what I wanted to do.
Okay, and what age was that when you started?
I can't remember. I get asked this sometimes and I can never remember. I think it was 10, maybe 11.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but yeah, somewhere around that.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so as you grew up then, who with and where did you study?
Okay, yeah, I got my kit and sort of played on my own for about a year, maybe slightly less than a year, long enough to get myself into some pretty bad habits, obviously, but like really awful pedal technique, bad grip. And then I started studying with this guy called Ross Elder.
Okay.
Great drummer, really simple sort of meat and potatoes rock drummer, really into his Ian Pace and guys like that.
Great.
But he sorted out my technique straight away, and I probably took 3-4 years from him.
Yeah.
And just still owe so much to that guy. He gave me a really good foundation, and even his attitude, he was just just all areas of drumming and being a musician, he sort of covered really well. So thanks, Ross. I haven't seen him in years. I hope to catch up with him one day.
Link him to this, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And then sort of just teaching myself for a few years, and then I went to Drum Tech.
Yeah.
As did you.
Cool. Yeah.
And maybe a few other guys on this doing this thing. But,
but you did the 1 year diploma, didn't you?
I did the diploma and then I did the degree, so I gave them all my money. It was cool. It was a good time. I'd say the best thing about Drum Tech for me was it was just basically 3 years to party. No, not really. It was basically just 3 years to work on your craft. I could spend 6 hours a day on the kit and not feel bad about it. And also they just gave you so much. I'm sure you remember so much vocabulary to work on. I don't think I'll ever run out of things to practice. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it was cool for that. And some cool teachers as well, really cool teachers.
Definitely, wicked, man. So after Drum Tech, did you go on to study any more? Did you get any other teachers after that, or?
No. This is a really good point, and I recommend this to any drummer. I think one of the best ways of learning is drum DVDs. I know it's an obvious thing to say.
Yeah.
But I think probably 50% of everything I've ever learned has been from drum DVDs, maybe more. The good thing about a drum DVD is you can come back to it. It's like being taught by a really famous drummer that you love, and you can keep going back, rewinding, watching bits again.
Yeah.
It's so valuable.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I found like you watch the DVD one time and then you come back to a couple of years later and you just all of a sudden a lot of the stuff just clicks and you're like, oh, I get it now.
That's it. It starts to make sense.
Yeah. Definitely. So, with that in mind, then I guess obviously you watch drum DVDs and stuff like that. Did you find that as you progressed as a drummer, your influence has changed and you sort of redefined who you wanted to be as a drummer?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, yeah. It just comes with sort of starting to listen to different musical styles and just that's the other thing at Drum Tech. You meet so many musicians. You get turned on to so many different styles. So, yeah, maybe my first influences were probably the Britpop guys. I was really into guys like Alan White from Oasis and just like playing along to those tracks.
Yeah, some nice ghost notes going on some of his stuff.
Yeah, he was taught by Bob Armstrong, I think, and Bob Armstrong's a pretty serious drummer, isn't he? And it shows. And then got into my metal, big Lars Ulrich fan, lots of Pantera, and then got into some proggy stuff. So started listening to Mike Portnoy.
Yeah.
Really fun learning tracks like that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then a bit later on, got into my sort of fusiony jazzy guys. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Vinny. Vinny Colaiuta has got to be my favourite player.
Definitely, man. So, I mean, that leads me on to my next question. And so, who are your drumming heroes?
Yeah, Vinny's got to be top of the list, man. He's for me. I mean, I know everyone probably has a similar opinion, but yeah, he's just got it all. And, I just love his approach to playing.
Yeah.
Actually, while I was at Drum Tech, I sort of played a lot of trad grip, and I probably nicked loads of his grooves and fills, and the teachers there used to call me Little Vinny, which is quite nice. But it's only because I held my stick like him.
Yeah.
But these days, probably Mark Sviliana. Check out Mark Sviliana if you guys haven't seen that guy. He's probably my favourite drummer at the minute.
Okay.
First checked him out with a jazz trio called the Avishai Cohen Trio.
Okay.
It's like a little piano jazz trio. This guy's insane, Mark Sviliana.
Cool, man.
Incredible drummer.
Wicked.
I'd say that's the guy I'm sort of most into at the minute.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked. Well, I'll make sure we put a link to one of his videos or something in the video, and you guys can check that out.
Yeah,
okay.
for
So,
sure.
all right. So up until this point, what would you say your biggest achievement has been on the drums?
Biggest achievement. I'd say just being able to sort of do this for a living. Overall, like it's there's a lot of people that want to be in the music industry, and I guess while I was studying, I was always worried. All I ever wanted to do was just be able to make a living out of it and do what I love every day, and I guess I'm doing that. So it's possible. It is possible.
Definitely.
And
that's why I'm trying to get the point across for this. Yeah.
But I was at Drum Tech. I was pretty chuffed. I did the degree, and I got best drummer on the degree.
Awesome.
That was a cool award. I got to go to the Zildjian in Dorsey Centre and pick a shiny new cymbal, and it was a good time, man. Really good time.
Wicked. I noticed it's not on your kit today though. But,
no, it isn't.
So all right. So doing this for a living, then up until now. I mean, tell us. If there's not too many, which bands have you played for?
Which bands have I played for?
That these guys might have heard of.
Oh right, okay. I guess the main one would be First Signs of Frost.
Yeah.
And that was with Owen Hughes Holland, who's wicked. His other band is called Polar Caps, and they're really cool. But yeah, First Signs of Frost. I've been playing with Owen since I started playing the drums, and we went through various lineup changes and ended up with First Signs of Frost.
Yeah.
And recorded the album. Dan Tompkins was our singer at the time, obviously, and we were getting sort of a buzz going around us a little bit.
Yeah.
But then
I was obsessed with it, so it's great, man.
Yeah, it was a great band for drumming in. It was very good fun. But yeah, kind of. And played with your brother, obviously. That was really cool. Michael Lee, awesome guy. So that would be the most notable one. But now it's mainly just sort of function work and.
Yeah. So which function bands you got going at the moment?
Yeah, I've got. I play for a couple of function bands that do kind of weddings, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty cool band. My main band called The Ministry. We sort of set it up to do these sort of overseas military shows. So we go over and do morale boost.
Wow.
So that's really cool. We get to travel around a lot with that. And yeah, there's just a huge network of musicians in the country and around London, and we all know each other. So I'll often get called to sit in with a band. There's probably 10 or 15 bands that I dart around and play for, and we pretty much know each other's playing and the same tunes. So
it's just a bit of band hall, really.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Sweet.
You found me out.
Okay, so but for you to have the opportunity to play with all these different bands and stuff, you must have. Well, this leads on to my next question. What would you say your strongest points are as a player that people get you back for in their bands and stuff like that? Obviously, I know you don't like to blow your own trumpet too much, but what would you say your strong points are?
I don't know. I just always when I was learning, I was just sort of always trying to work on things like touch and groove. Like for me, I do think I've got a nice touch, but I worked on it for a long time. Just definitely. You you can get 5 different drummers to hit a snare drum and they'll make it sound different.
Yeah.
That's, you know, it will sound different every time. The way you touch your drums is really important. You know, having an expensive kit means nothing if you can't touch it right. So I spent a lot of time with that. I spent a lot of time on just groove and just trying to have a nice, relaxed, spaced out feel. And I'd say those are the things I sort of that people get you back for, because, you know, people on a gig, they want to feel comfortable. You know, they want a drummer that they can feel comfortable with. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing I've always been jealous of with Will is his touch, and it's partly because his hands. It's like if I give him a stick, it's like his hands are big pillows, and the stick just sits in there. I
do have really chunky fingers, but
if you ever check Will out at a gig or anything like that, just watch his hands. They're just big stakes, just holding onto these sticks. They look so comfy. So that's wicked, man.
It's all about the back of the hand grip, guys. Grip from the pinky. That's the way to go. So, unless Dunk tells you otherwise. But yeah.
No, it's cool. I grip with my back finger sometimes.
Do you? Yeah, it's good for back beats, man.
I stole that from you as well. So.
Wicked.
But okay, so it's safe to say, and you've already said it already. From all your drumming experience, you have managed to shape a career in drumming.
Yeah.
So, and you would say your main way of making a living as a drummer at the moment is through function bands and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And you also do some teaching on the side, don't you?
I do, yeah. I just teach I've got a few private students, and I teach in local schools in my borough, Hillingdon actually, and do some ensemble support at on Saturday mornings. Sort of all the kids in the local, from the local schools get together and play in orchestras and concert bands. So I do a bit of ensemble support for the percussion section of these bands, which is good fun. Very different, big timpanis and
good stuff
that I don't understand.
Getting into tuned percussion and stuff like that.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I mean, that's sort of your setup as a musician then, and on average as well. How many times do you gig in a week when it's busy?
Oh, not as much as I was. Well, when it's busy, anywhere from sort of 3 to 5 gigs a week is a good amount to be doing, I'd say.
Amazing.
I think the gigs have definitely dwindled a little, but if you stay on top, there's definitely work to be had. But there was some times, like a couple of summers ago, I think I was gigging 5 or 6 times a week.
Yeah.
It was, pretty crazy, man. But
amazing. Yeah, that's wicked.
You get very match fit when you're playing that much. Yeah. You kind of almost, I don't know, it's kind of like you're getting to practice every day, and it's very useful practice as well, but you get really match fit, all your playing muscles are really well honed.
Yeah, definitely. So you can kind of just sort of slip into autopilot on the set.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So right, so you've got the cover thing going on, you've got the teaching and everything. So where, as a goal, where would you like to go from here?
Where would I like to go? I'm pretty content, to be honest. I mean, one thing I haven't done in a while, since Frost, to be fair, is to do some sort of originals band. Yeah, it's nice to have a creative outlet, and so I think I'd probably getting ready to get involved with something like that again.
Awesome.
At some point, so that'd be cool. Also, just I forgot to mention, I'm just sort of started playing in a little flamenco duo, which is very cool. Flamenco music is awesome. Check it out if you haven't. I basically play this thing, which is really easy, much easier than setting up a drum kit. I just play with my friend Charlie. He plays flamenco guitar, and that's kind of more like a jazz approach, because you're playing styles which are already sort of quite traditional to southern Spain, but you put your own spin on them. So it's like a jazz approach kind of thing. So that's
awesome,
good
man.
fun.
You should have seen him set that up as well. It fits into a case this thin.
Yeah, I don't want to advertise this company because I'm not endorsed or anything, but this cajon is awesome. It's really cool.
It sounds amazing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, another reason why Will's here, he's come here for an interview and a drum jam, but also we've been filming a drum cover that he's been working on for quite a while. Can you tell us about that, please, Will?
Yeah. So it is a cover. It's not really. I'd say it's more of an interpretation. The track is a DJ Shadow track. It's off his first album, Introducing, and the track is called Building Steam with a Grain of Salt. And all the drums on his albums are sampled. Really cool sort of sample stuff. And this particular track, there's some pretty busy drum work going on.
Big time.
And I just remember mates that I used to hang around with back at uni, not even musicians, just listening to that and just saying, oh, you know, some drummer should have a go at this. So, I just started scoring it out and figuring it out, and I've done an interpretation. I'm not playing it note for note because it wasn't played by a drummer.
Yeah. I'm
just sort of trying to do an approximation and pick out the same kind of hits. And it's quite a long tune as well, so my dear friend Mark Greenwood, got to thank him, he made me a wicked backing track. He sort of shrunk it down so you kind of get to the good stuff quick.
Yeah.
So there's two main areas of it's really busy, awkward work. I mean, you can
definitely.
You'd probably vouch for that, can't you? It's very, very tricky to play, but I kind of managed to hook up a couple of decent
Definitely.
takes.
Oh, definitely. Man.
But yeah, you know, I'm only human, so.
No, it's awesome. Really guys, I highly recommend you check this out. If you want to go and have a look at his drum cover, click on the link at the bottom of the screen now and that'll take you straight there. Otherwise, stick with us and we're going to have a little look into Will's kit setup actually. So could you show us around your kit please, Will?
Absolutely, mate.
Tell us what you've got going on. I'm just going to get my little portrait cam going.
Sure.
And then we're going to go on to our drum jam, so let's have a look.
Yeah.
So, alright, so what have we got going on then? Tell us about your cymbals first, because there's a story behind each one, I'm sure.
Just a pair of Zildjian Avidis Master Sound hi-hats, 13-inch. I've got them when I was working at a drum shop actually, so I had plenty of time to check out lots of hi-hats. But yeah, they're just really nice, tight and funky, and yeah, sweet. And the older they get, the better they sound. Cool.
Awesome.
This one is a TRX. I think it's an alt.
Yeah.
Crash. Yeah.
Range,
16. And basically, I got a split in the bow of the cymbal along the tonal groove, and I got it ozone. So this guy, a drum doctor, sort of cut the split out and then made some more holes, and it's like a brand new cymbal. Sounds great. Really thin, transparent, oriental sounding.
And cuts through on the recording as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's a cool cymbal, man. And right cymbal. This is an impression. I got this from a shop called Drum Shack in Battersea. It's a company I hadn't heard of before, but I was looking for a really dirty, sort of dry, thin jazz ride, and this one just jumped out at me. It's a 20-inch dark ride. Yeah, very thin.
Sweet.
Very cool. I love the way it looks as well.
Nice one, yeah, it looks lovely. Yeah. Okay, so your snare drum, although it looks similar, it's not actually the same finish as the rest of your kit, is it?
No.
It's a different brand. So what kind of snare is it?
It's a Gretsch actually. It's a Gretsch USA Custom.
Okay.
I think it's 10 plies of maple, 14 by 5, full length lugs and die cast hoops. I think it's the best snare drum in the world. I get a lot of comments on my snare drum. It's great for the rim shot sound that I use. And I just think it's fantastic.
Cool.
And,
Cool. And then your kit itself,
the shells. Yeah, this is just my workhorse, man. This is it's just an old Yamaha Stage Custom. It's with the Heinz badges on it. Look like Heinz baked bean badges.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
But it's just my workhorse, man. It's a 22 by 17, 10 by 9, 14 by 12, I think. And it just, you know, the type of gigs I do where it's just getting carted around and battered, but it always sounds good, and I love it. I could never get rid of it.
Definitely, man. You also have a mid-tom for this one as well, don't you?
I do, yeah. But I haven't used that in years. I like my setup simple. I think it's, first of all, it's probably out of laziness, as I said to you earlier, but also I think if you use less stuff on your kit, it kind of encourages creativity a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely recommend stripping your kit down every once in a while just to try it out, and then just an assortment of heads. Sometimes I use Evans, sometimes I use Remo.
Yeah. Cool, man.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the setup at the minute. Oh, and the tambo. This is a cool thing. LP tambourine, brass jingles, I think. And it's cool because whatever you're playing, it has a little bit of you get a little sympathetic jingle when you're playing. And it's sort of, I couldn't live without it now. I love it.
Awesome.
What else is there? Pedals?
Pedals, yeah. Go
ahead. I mean, it's just a lightweight Yamaha hi-hat stand. The pedal is Pearl Eliminators.
Is that it's the older model though, isn't it?
It's the older model. It's not the Demon Drive.
Yeah.
But it is the one with the interchangeable cams. I bought it because my other one wore out And I bought this because apparently you can make it feel like any pedal you want, you know.
Yeah.
But I haven't dialed it in. I'm still not comfortable with it yet.
Fair enough.
There's so many cams and adjustments. I think it's going to take a while till it really feels like home. But yeah, it's
sounds
doing
good
alright.
then, man.
Yeah, it's smooth and quick. So.
Cool. Alright, cool. So that concludes us looking around your kit. So we're going to have a little bit of a drum jam now. So see you guys in a bit.